It should be. All right, so our goals for today are to finish up status effects and get the enemy AI started and probably put some status effect icons on the main menu, or the battle menu, I mean. So let's go to our script here. Okay, let me also find my notes and check my phone messages before we get too into things. Does not matter, does not matter. Good. Okay, we're not gonna do probably the full 4 hours today. I'm probably gonna cut it a little shorter. Because I got some stuff I kind of need to do. Do status. Alright, so we got life drain, the effect, then we return the notification, stagger, and weaken, and paralysis. Should all be fully implemented. Okay. We need bleeds. Why don't we... Let's focus on not implementing everything necessarily. Hey, Dinos World, how's it going? We'll focus on implementing specifically the effects that are needed for the demo, which isn't everything. So, let's look at this. So I think we might have finished all the Carnotaurus stuff, if I'm not mistaken. No, this is under attack dictionary, obviously. All right, life draining done, staggering done, paralysis is done. Fear? We we changed that. No, did we not change that to weaken? No, fear was, yeah. Fear is a different thing. We need to do fear. Fear is that gen. Stamina gen, I mean. Then we need bleed. Yeah, we did weaken. And we need cleanse. So cleanse, fear, bleed. 3 left to implement. Thinking about where to start. Let's just start with the attack script. You know what? We could probably just implement all these here at this level. Did I not get the bracket? I assume that other bracket was needed, yeah. All right, fear. Uh, bleed. Yeah, I know I'm live. Thank you, YouTube update. Obviously. Bleed time. Bleed. That's not a B. Okay. All right, bleed and fear. I mean, cleanse is just simply purging status effects. Actually, there's a better way we can set this up. If we do here. Oh no, because these are, yeah. Well, we're here, we might as well do it. Bleed 0. Bleed time 0. Fear 0. Fear time 0. Fix this typo before I forget to go back. Oops. All right, bleed, fear, weakness, paralysis, stagger can't be cleansed because stagger keeps you from doing anything anyway. You don't cleanse a cleanse, that'd be silly. All right, And drain is a triggered effect, so that doesn't do anything. Effect is cleanse, and attacker is enemy. All right, that implements all the tracking here. We need to implement the timers, which we were controlling where? Layout, maybe? Enemy. Forward, backwards, decision making. Yeah. Feedback. This should all just work. Oh, status handler. I should probably do, actually like just read. That might help, Paratime. Yeah, okay. Enemy, player, enemy, player, enemy, player. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. So, paratime, bleed. I think I overshot. Yep. All right. Fear. Might want to think about fear. Oh, no, no. Fear is fine. Never mind. Concussed, which isn't implemented, is something I need to consider. Yeah, that'll. I think that's. Yeah. Okay. Never mind. Does not matter. I think I know how I probably want to do it anyway. Global.pc attacking is probably just generically anybody attacking, but we'll need to think about that at some point. Okay, so these are updating. Just double checking these are all correct. Looks like it. Okay, now we need to implement both the fear and bleed effects. So we need to go to stamina. So this is updating based on the rate. This is the stamina rate. N.stam. Let me double check these. Yeah, stam 5, stam 6. Okay. So I think all we have to do for fear let's do this. Just for readability, we'll split it up. So the new rate is global.pc.stam. So this is a 5 or a 6. And then we want minus global.pc.fear. Maybe. No, let's do it like this. Sorry, I haven't thought through the precise implementation. I think we do global.pc.fear. Okay, so this is this scales up to 5. So if we do 10 minus this, divided by 10. If it's 0, then it's 10 over 10, and it's just the existing stamina rate. And then if it's 5, which is the maximum, it becomes 5 over 10, and the stamina rate is halved. That should be the effect we're looking for. Let's just do this. En. Debug message, new rate. Test it. Threat display is what we're testing here. Fear 3. Okay, 0.07 from what? From 0.1. Yeah, so okay. So it was 0.1, that's 6 over 60. And then it became 0.07 when it was experiencing fear. It was a fear of 3. So it should be 70% of 0.1, which is 0.07. It's worked perfectly. Now, conceptually, that is making it lose. Let's look at the cost benefit analysis here. And maybe rebalance this. This is a very particular move. It can be a little blah maybe if it's or pretty blah if it's set up poorly. So this is scale 3 for 10 seconds. So it's gaining 6 a second, but then it's being dropped to 70% of 6. Well, I guess the better way to think about it is more generically than that, but I guess we'll think about it with the exact situation here. So this is 4 a tick from 6 a tick, essentially. So that is costing the enemy effectively like 20 stamina at a cost of 15 here. %75 chance guaranteed hit. Interesting. So it's like barely worth it as it stands. Let's make the chance 100. Let's drop the cost to like 12. It does also drain, actually, which is relevant too. It drains 20. I forgot it drained. Okay, yeah, I mean, that's fine then, actually. Let's boost the cooldown a little bit. 15 drain 20. Cooldown about 14 seconds. Let's make the cooldown 10 seconds. Theoretically, then you can keep the fear up continuously if you keep making these 3 and 4 chances to trigger it. I think that's fine. Okay, let's get bleed working now. So that will be under currently nowhere, I guess. Because there's no analogous thing currently. So I guess layout where we're handling stamina. And cooldowns. So if global.pc.bleed greater than 0, global.pc.hp. Okay, we need to think about how to set this up though, because we don't want this to tick every frame. I'm okay with the stamina ticking every frame. Making that continuous is fine. Maybe it's fine. Probably should have it be granular. Actually, yeah, hold on. Let's not do this here. Let's put this with the countdown in the status handler. Let's think about this. How do we want to implement this? We should implement it into this check. So the time is ticking down in fractional amounts. We round our damage calcs to be whole numbers. Fraction of bleeds would be weird. We need a good method to check. Okay, here's somebody basically doing the same idea. Ooh, okay. No, yeah. No, that's a good way to implement this, I think. Let me think. Okay, okay, so this is handling everything. So the first time this finds bleed time greater than 0, it starts to count down. Hmm. If less than or equal to 0. Let's just isolate this block and start thinking. So I think if we implement a timer, it should be fine. So once bleed is done, we can reset the timer to 0. And the timer can be continuously reset to 0 at this check. That's fine. Now once we get here and we have a bleed timer that's active, PC bleed time, I guess we start counting it up by 1 over room speed. So every time this iterates, this counts up. Then we do if PC bleed time equals room speed. So once a full second has passed, we want a tick of bleed damage. So global.pc.hp minus equals global.pc.bleed. And then the bleed time ticks down. Yeah, so you should bleed for the final tick before it's erased. So this is the correct ordering. 0 increments to 1, 2, etc. to 60. Bleed tick happens. Should be fine. PC bleed timer. Reset it to 0 here too. So this should happen every second on the dot when bleeding. And bleed timer, and bleed. And then just here, en bleed timer equals 0. That should be good enough. That should cause the effect I'm looking for. I don't love the implementation. We don't have anything that causes a bleed. We're just making sure the game doesn't crash. Can't kill this guy. I'm out of stamina. I think I killed him. We'll want to implement some final attack animation thing maybe at some point, but it's not terribly important here. Okay. So bleeds work, fear works. Fear is implemented, bleed is implemented, cleanse is implemented. All right. So AI and icons. I'm gonna steal some filler icons from the internet. Make some icons real quick to implement, which will also help for bug checking. DR assets. We'll steal this from iStock. That's pretty funny. Okay, bleed, fear. Stagger. That's a good enough icon. We can... No, I'm not... I should have thought of the implications of searching paralysis icon. Okay. Window capture. Let's add this. All right, let's do How big should an icon be? 50? 50 pixels by 50, maybe? Sure. 50 by 50. Why not? There's one. This is stagger. Weaken. Bleed. Paralysis. Oops. Here. Okay, that one's a little weird to size. Let's try 100. That looks pretty good. There's maybe an argument for some color to these, I suppose. This is good enough. This is not that important. Is that everything? Weaken, fear, paralysis, stagger, bleed. Everything that's implemented. Not everything in the game, but... Alright. Great sprite. Nope, just kidding. Can I just like drag and drop these into the sprite window here, actually? Like if I do... Yeah, okay. Great. Yeah, and that sizes them with they already at the size they're at. Cool. Okay. Then object oblate icon. That's a 0. Oblate icon. Sprite. Bleed. Okay. Now if I go to the battle room, if I put this in here, it's It's pretty big, but that's fine. It can be big. It doesn't really matter. Do I put these in and then turn them off? Probably not. Oh, bleed. Oh, weak icon. Fear, bleed. Okay. Um, so how do we want to handle it? I think let's do the enemy ones first. So I think we'll integrate this into status handler. Um, let's think about this. We create the icon. Right, these need to specifically... Let's do this. Okay, so stagger specifically will increment below 0 and then be set to 0. That's different than how these other ones work. So I think we should implement an and check. And global.pc.weak greater than or equal to 0. That way this block doesn't re-trigger over and over again. This triggers once. Yeah. No, this is good. Okay, weak. Era. Because this will allow us to implement icon controls into these blocks as well. Keeping this code together is good because it ensures these events happen when we expect them to. These can't be equal 0. Hold on. Why did I do? Greater than 0, greater than 0. Greater than 0, greater than 0. Because I copied the less than or equals to code originally. Enemy PC, enemy PC, enemy PC. Staggers are different. PC.fear. en.fear. All right, so create icon. If less, destroy icon. Pretty simple, actually. Although maybe this is controlled on the icon itself. We also need to get position. Messages. All right, nothing important there. Alrighty then. So I gotta think. This is actually a little trickier. If I want these to like move, I need to think about how that would work. I could also just put them in certain positions, which would be much simpler. Hmm. Yeah, this is a little unnecessary, I think. Let's do it this way. Um, Stepwise image.x scale. Yeah. Didn't I have something that disappeared? Oh no, the attack buttons changed the sprite. Under, whoops, under the draw. Oh god. Sprite index, sprite index. How do we... Okay, I accidentally made a blank, which is actually probably good. Because I think I do want a blank. I'm just curious where if there is a good way to get the index visually in the UI here. I think we'll just duplicate these. I'm not even going to change the name. Of 13. Since I had new sprites, let's make sure these indexes remain. Okay, so they don't remember. Oof. Okay, so using sprite indexes is actually like really not good. We learned a thing. So hold on, I'm curious now. So this sprite index 0 is the bleed. 5 is attack animation. I see. Yeah. So can I... So these re-index every time we add sprites. That's very dangerous. Or index name. Sprite get name index. Okay. How to change sprites. Let's find a better way to do this. Layer sprite change. Nah, sprite index is bad. This feels like a really bad way to do it. Doing an index that arbitrarily changes when I add sprites to the code is like hideous. Set sprite? No, that's index. Like, I can do it, I just want to do it better. Choose the object. Use the sprite index variable. It really is it really just inherently by sprite index? Because that is... Can I get the sprite? Ooh, wait. Can I get the index of... If I can get the index of the sprite by name, then it's scalable. Like, then it doesn't matter. Sprite index object get sprite tells you whether the object has a sprite or not, and then returns the index. Object get sprite. That sort of works. It at least tells me the default one. If this is fetching the sprite index for itself, I guess. We want this to be under create. So upon creation, bridge index equals get the sprite. And then sprite index equals orig index. Theoretically, this should now be an attack button. Okay. And now it's going to flicker away when we get in range because, yeah, the other one isn't set. Okay. So we got that one in a way where we don't have to change this every time we add a sprite. Can we get... Oh, yeah, no, wait, this just fucking works. No, yeah, because we're referring directly to the object here anyway. We would just create a dummy object for the button as a tracker. I'm just going to look through these. So sprite add, X the air call, I don't know, or sprite add, whatever, sprite speed, sprite stats, sprite add, create from surface, delete, duplicate, exists, get width, save, draw. There's a lot here. Okay. Well, all we do is what we said we do. So, oops. So let's just create a new object. Object dummy attack with the sprite, which is the green HP bar button, which we're using for this anyway. Okay, and now we can go here. And instead of us hard coding a sprite index, we just do this. We do dummy attack. And now we don't have to fix this ever again. And that's the only sprite that is changing ever. The HP bar scale, which is easier to control. Kick. Fucking kick his ass. Get that boy. Devour. Out of stamina. Okay, well, anyway. Okay. So we fixed that. Hold on, I need to see the layout here again. So when the text is on the screen, it's just right below the HP bar. It's pretty fine. Bleed. Bleed, fear, para. Stagger and weaken. Oops. That was fear. Yeah, bleed 1, fear 1, para 1, stagger 1, weaken 1. Okay. And then this should just be add event, step. This is the player if PC dot, sorry, global dot PC dot lead greater than 0. else. I need to sprite it thing again from this. Sprite just set the index. If bleeding, original index, add event, create. Oh, I should have made a template, I guess. Oh well. Lead icon and original sprite. We're finishing implementation of status effects. Right now we're working on status effect icons that only show up when you're actively being affected by a status effect. All the status effects are implemented. After we get these icons working, we're probably going to start programming the enemy AI so that it can attack. So now we just want to feed this a blank sprite index. So we want to fetch the sprite from like anything that just doesn't have a sprite, I guess. So I can just do like O layout. Probably. So if we run this, we shouldn't see the bleed icon. Nice. So yeah, bleed is gone. We have bleed, fear, paralysis, stagger, and weaken. Although I don't like the ordering here. I'm going to change that. Bleed is damage over time. Fear is your stamina generates slower. Paralysis is a stat debuff. You have a harder time hitting and a harder time dodging. Stagger is a stun. You can't move or take any action. And then weaken is you do less damage and take more damage. And then there'll be concussed, which will affect the cooldowns. And then there'll be poison, which will be kind of like a combination of bleed alongside with some debuff effects. Probably it's going to be like bleed, but also less stamina regeneration and worse cooldowns. Probably it'll be like a 3-in-1 type status for poison. And I think that's it. I think 7 is what I'm targeting. But only these 5 are implemented right now because they're the only ones in the demo. Let's change the order so that it's more consistent, because right now I just put them in alphabetical and that doesn't make sense. I think I'm just want to do this. That way the two stat lowering ones are next to each other. I guess that feels better. Okay, so I think all we do is we just copy this over to each of these different icon objects, add step, we'll do code, add create, code, step. This is enemy bleed. That works there. Create. Step. Every step for PC dot fear. Yep. Create. Step. Poison's going to be pretty good because poison's going to be very uncommon. Not something you typically associate with dinosaurs outside of Jurassic a little bit. This is enemy fear. Like poison's basically going to be a weaker version of three different status effects combined, right? So like bleed will cause more damage over time than poison, but poison will also have additional effects connected to it. So it won't be like poison's not going to be strictly better at doing anything. It's just going to do more things. That's the idea, at least currently. Uh, I'm not gonna reveal that yet. I have an idea of what I want to do for at least one poisonous dinosaur family. Um, but it's a surprise. Well, nah, fuck it, it's fine. I'll talk about it. I don't care. I want to make Dilophosaurus poisonous, but not a spitter. I want a secreted poison from Dilophosaur's skin. So that it's like a pseudo Jurassic Park reference, but without actually directly being a reference. What dinosaur is associated with Venom from Planet Dinosaur? I'm also thinking there'll have to be something with like a poisonous bite, but I haven't fully decided what. Like a heterodinosaur with a poisonous bite would be pretty cool, but I don't think there's any big enough to put in the game. Enemy fear is done. Sonornithosaurus. Awesome. This guy. Okay. Yeah, one of the possible venomous bite. Yeah, I'm looking at the Wikipedia page now. Yeah, coming from the teeth. Okay. Yeah, too small though for this game. Venomous Kentrosaurus. I don't hate the idea. Could be fun to make the shoulder spine specifically on Stegosaurids poisonous. Be a good twist, I think. It's probably something I'll think about more when it comes down to like designing all the individual dinosaur families. Like if it feels like something like Stegosaurids, for instance, need a little extra oomph, then it's the kind of thing I might do from a gameplay perspective. Of just like, okay, fine, they're poisonous, I guess. Um, well, our Carnotaurus has a paralytic bite from bacteria, from symbiotic bacteria, so that's a little close to a noxious bite. So I'm thinking more like injectable venom, like analogous to a snake bite or something. I just haven't committed to what. Yeah, yeah. Not many genuine scavengers tend to not be common in general. There's things that may be like preferential scavengers, but like and most things will scavenge given the opportunity as well. I'll just stagger the full word. I also do intend to have genetic modifiers be a mechanic. So there'll be things like you could potentially breed um, any like variation of an animal with like poison dart frog DNA to give it like poison skin or something, for instance, or some viper DNA and give it a poison bite. The exact parameters of how that's going to work is not fully hashed out, but I do want a whole inserting modern animals to fill in the gaps in the DNA sequence type thing. With the idea that like the pure strain animal would be stronger, but you can do a little mixing and customize it at the expense of its strength to give it, some interesting quirks. Like the game concept in general is drawing a lot from like, let's say the little bit more extreme side of what you could extrapolate from the Jurassic franchise. You wanted to take things in a little bit more of a crazier direction. Oh yeah, no, they'll be full on good eugenic systems in here. You can make the Ubersaurus. Enemy stagger. Yeah, Malta if they locked in for sure. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the inspiration for this is coming from like just the fact that I was just me thinking about like the crossover between Monster Rancher mechanics and breeding and combining and like how dinosaurs are made in the Jurassic franchise, and it's just like if you just cross these things over, there's a game there. You see dot weak. Did I do this as enemy dot? Yeah, okay. Create. Okay, now we're gonna go back to the start and do the creates. So all this is setting the original sprite index so that the thing can remember what it used to look like. Wait a second. Fear icon 1. Right, should be good. We should start the battle. We shouldn't see anything. Yeah, no icons. Great. And now if we hit, yeah, now he's feared. Okay. Oh yeah, the icon doesn't remove it. Oh no, it does remove itself. I just forgot that threat display is very long duration. Yeah. Let's go for a paralytic. Nice. We did it. I gotta move the text down slightly for the battle effects. So that is feedback, I think. Draw. New Y. Did we hit? You missed. So we do... Does this all just scale off? No. 200. New Y. Oh, yeah, because the way I coded this is dumb. Okay. Sure. That should work. Yeah, okay, there we go. Oh yeah, I need guts correction. Let's do that real quick. That should be I know how I want to implement it exactly, so chance roll, crit roll, hit chance. Okay, so let's do guts core equals. Where is current stamina being kept? Layout? Global.pc stam end stam. PC stam end stam. Okay. Attacker equals player. Let's do a little safety thing. We'll just start this as a 0. Okay, so you are attacking the enemy. Guts correction is positive if you have more stamina than them. Otherwise, it is negative. Good. Max is 100 minus 1. Min is 1 minus 100. Actually, I think I want this to be divided. I think that's a better way to handle this. Because I don't think I want that to deal with a negative. So if we do divide by... I know I said I knew what I wanted to do here, but I guess I forgot. So max is 100 over 1 equals 100. Min is 1 over 100. Wait. No, that's fine. Yeah. So we need a +1 to remove divide by 0 errors. And I guess we want to probably scale this as well. Yeah. I think. All right, let's just check guts corrections. So he should always be above me because I'm slow. 0.83. Yeah. Okay. So that's always fractional because we were always behind. That makes sense. But scale in the other direction to be, yeah. So it would bottom out at 1/10. Top out at 10 times. No, because that would always scale it. I'm sorry. This was minus. I do want this negative. Yeah, so this would cap out at 9, which is whatever. Well, 11 minus. Yes, this no, this because just kidding. 10 minus 10. I don't need the +1 anymore. So then I want to go to hit chance, global hit times attack. Yeah, yeah, this should be plus the guts correction. So up to 10% accuracy gained if you're way higher on guts, minus 10% if you're on the low end. And then for damage, I guess we want to do this as a plus guts core times the damage value. So plus minus up to 10% damage. I think so. -3, -7. Did I kill them in 2 hits? Did I really just 2-tap the berry? I wasn't checking his HP numbers. That was really funny. I mean, no, Devour is just like ending the battle. What's going on there? Whoa, whoa, whoa. It did like 1 billion negative damage. Oh, I know why. Because the guts correction is multiplicative, but it's supposed to be like a proportional multiplicative. It's supposed to be 10%, not 10 times. Divided by 100. This should be sanity again. $42 damage. Okay, yeah, that seems like it's working. Okay, great. Let's turn off the debug. Okay. Enemy AI. Why don't we make this an invisible object? That's the way to handle this. OAI. Chuck that into the battle randomly in the middle of the arena. You won't see it. All right. So, so maybe we start with the attack button code. Yeah, this is most analogous to what the AI needs to like be able to do. So we take the attack button code, we chuck it in here. On creation, we're getting the index for the attack button, which doesn't matter. On draw, we're changing the visual display of the attack button, which doesn't matter. All that matters is when the button is pressed, we execute the attack based on current stats. Okay. So now we just need to like make the equivalent of the AI hitting the button, essentially, right? So I'll be right back, and then we will do this. We'll probably stream for another hour minimum, but I'll probably try to actually finish this before we end, even if it takes a little extra time. Where's Disto coming from, though? Here, I just didn't copy this part. Wait. Oh, because this is under the draw. Right. Which I guess is not a problem for the code, which is good. I could have tried to mute that, but that's just me waking up anybody sleeping to the stream. Okay, distance is the difference between enemy position and this. If range. So how do we want to code this? I guess is the real question. This doesn't matter. Distance does matter. Name 2 may matter, but not here. So let's look at... Do I care which slot the attacks are in? Not really. So we got attack list. So this doesn't really matter. We need a for loop. That's the starting place. But I need to remember how to make my for loops in Game Maker. We have one somewhere. I don't know why I'm coughing so much now all of a sudden. Oh, isn't there a full? There should be nope. For I 0 array length. Yeah, that's the syntax. Okay, so we want attack equals global.en attack list I. Clear the garbage. We don't need this here. Well, I guess we just call this name too. If we're going to copy the button code, that's what the name's been converted to. Can I control replace? I can tab in, tab out. Oh yeah, find and replace. Right. Ah. Okay. Oh, I guess for now we want this. Let's leave this as PC attacking. Oops. Uh, shit. We do have the enemy stats in here too, though. So batch replacing this is not quite the way to do it. Yeah, I've never been a Twitter user in the best of times, and I'm certainly not a Twitter user now. I guess we do all the .pc with .en2, like that. Okay, and then we do .en with PC. And we do .en2 with .en, and then everything should be changed. We got to go through and check. We got to fix the other variables that reference back differently. Okay, so this should be, let's close this so we don't do that again on accident. This should be enemy attack list. This should be enemy attack list. Okay, enemy stagger, enemy stam, enemy cooldowns, PC attacking remains PC attacking, enemy stamina decrements, enemy PC PC, enemy PC PC. Yep. Enemy stamina, enemy stagger, enemy cooldowns, PC attacking, enemy stamina. NDM and weak, PC def, PC weak, and PC PC. It's looking good. EN. So this should result in it attacking me. Oh, every player needs to be enemy. Guess it's lowercase. Let's double check that. So in the script, I think if there's anything I tend to fuck up in terms of like coding etiquette, it's the capitalization. Case in point, look at my fucking sidebar. It's actually pretty good for me currently. But like, this is a good example. PC is capitalized, none of this shit's capitalized. Whatever. So, this thing should just like swing at my face. We got a glitch. Oh yeah, there's no closing bracket. Oh yeah, we gotta indent all this shit too. Right. So yeah, so this here we just do a tab in, and then we just add a close and run it. So this should just be wildly attacking me. Crash. Okay, but it tried to attack if range. Ah, yes. Right. Range is not set. True. I did not give it a range value. Range 1, range 2, range 3. Range equals global dot attacks, name to range, presumably. Range is okay, multi-conditional. It's a list, yes. We need to iterate. Right. Can I just do if one in range? That's how we want to do this. All right, so how do I check for an entry in an array? Array contains. Array contains array value. Done. Beautiful. So we just do if array contains range, comma 1. Why is this mad at me? Oh, because of this. This is like overly indented. I wonder if that is of any consequence to anything. Let's see if this works. You should just start beating the shit out of me. Or the game will crash. Oh! Oh, he's doing it! He's swinging madly at the fences. Oh god, I'm done. I'm gonna die. 3 HP, hold on. Okay. Awesome. Okay, so the AI goes bonkers. Can we beat him if he's just mashing? I can't get an attack in edgewise. No! Okay, I got one in. his attacks overrule my attacks. I can't attack if he's attacking. I'm not allowed. I can't like click in between the attacks well enough until he like runs out. Oh god, he's beating me up. Come on, eat his ass. Not like literally, but you know, figuratively. Did I get an attack in like at all there? Okay. Is he? Let's see if we can get him to land a status effect. I think he's just gonna burn everything. Yeah, I can't close enough to get him to like be doing other moves. Oop, I got the charge in there. He's spamming mid-range now. Yeah. Let's give ourselves an extra 1,000 XP. Or HP. Yeah, the funny thing is, if everything was better balanced, I could just weather him spamming. Because spamming should be a losing strategy with the game engine. Because of the guts correction mechanic. Okay, so I think he's always just going to spam his basic, unfortunately. It's interesting that it always just says you missed. I gotta figure out why it does that. Okay, I specifically want him to like fish hook me. I just want to see the bleed happen. So if we do this, wait a second. Yeah. Okay, so we set the name to specifically be Fishhook. He should never attack now because he thinks his... Oh, it needs to be an array. Hold on. No. The name does need to be an array. Just kidding. So he should... Yeah, he can attack because he only thinks he has one move. Oh, is Fishhook mid-range? Hey, I'm bleeding! It's not working. Okay, so bleeds don't work the way I coded it for whatever reason. But application of the bleed does. Weird. Huh. Okay, this does mean we can like force him to use any particular attack we want to test, which is nice. Okay, so let's figure out why bleeds don't work. I mean, like I have a good idea of why they don't work because I made them weird, but let's see bleed time. Let's leave him only fish hooking. Oh no, fish hook is 1-2 range. Okay. PC bleed timer. Oh shit, it's bleed timer. I thought I fixed that. Bleed timer, bleed time. Oh no, sorry. This is this. Wait. No, yeah, bleed timer and bleed time are different. Bleed time is the total duration of bleed. Timer is the counter for when a tick of bleeding happens. Yeah. Okay, it's at 0.02 and not changing. Well, that's weird. Why is it unchanging? Hold on. Okay, close this. Think. If bleed time is greater than 0, and attacks are not happening. PC bleed timer plus equals 1 over room speed. Maybe it just needs a greater than or equals to, which is safer anyway. Like if it misses the perfect match on the number, it's probably actually entirely reasonably that's the problem. Nope. Okay, but is it even updating anymore? Okay, I'm bleeding again. It's just back to 0.02. Why is this wrong? I'm not seeing it. It's a step event, it happens every frame. It sees the PC.bleed time being greater than 0. And nobody's attacking. Increments PC bleed timer. We get the debug message. The if condition's not met. The bleed tick never happens. The timer never resets. We adjust the PC bleed time for the actual duration. Okay. If global.PC bleed time is below 0 and the bleed value is greater than 0, bleed time becomes 0, bleed becomes 0, and the tick timer for the next bleed becomes 0. None of this is crossing streams. So let me see what happens here with the, it could be an issue with the application of the bleed itself. Nope, I see the internal timer ticking down. Very strange. So it's being set to 0. Yeah, that's what's happening here. This is being set to 0, then it's getting +1. If PC bleed timer is greater than or equal to room speed. Why would that not work? So the question is, where is it getting set to 0? Is it set to 0 here, or is it set to 0 here? Well, we just do this. And then we just run it. And we just let him bleed me. And we see what happens. Bleed me. Okay. Now it's ticking. The bleed doesn't happen because the timer doesn't reset for the next tick, but it is happening. Do I just not remember? What this is supposed to be? Is the issue that this is not... formatted the way I thought it was. Can you bleed me, please? Sir. Sir, I need you to bleed me. Please. Dig that hook in. There we go. No, it's just a flat 60. Oh, wait. Wait. This should be 1. So first problem here, this should be 1. Because it's every second. Yeah. Because room speed is 60 because it's 60 FPS. If I do room speed, then I'm just doing 60 seconds. So there's the first mistake. But why is this... But I still don't know why this was being zeroed. That still doesn't make sense. This should still not work. Because we haven't fixed the real bug, which is it being zeroed. Yeah, because it still just says 0.02 over and over again. So we found a bug, but it's not the bug. What am I missing here? PC bleed timer is greater than or equal to 1. I should be taking bleed ticks. Like, by definition, the timer is resetting in that slot. Oh my god, I know what I'm doing wrong. I put an if condition in here and I didn't put in a fucking bracket, dude. What am I, stupid? Yes, don't answer that. This is just me. I slipped back into Pythonic syntax. This is the problem. Why was I not bleeding out, though? I guess Game Maker was trying to make do with my broken syntax. Come on, stick me like a pig. Do it. Okay. Now it's counting. Okay, but I'm not actually bleeding. Okay. But it shouldn't reset to 0 without the tick happening. Wait a second. This might just be the wrong thing I'm calling here. Yeah. The HP specifically... Wait, how the fuck does the... Every step... Wait, how does this even work? That looks like it shouldn't work to me. Like, object player HP.HP. Because I'm directly referring back to that internal variable in that object. It was a bad way to code this, which is why I just tricked myself. Okay, well, now I know why it was happening. It's because it's written poorly. What dumbass coded this game? Stupid bitch. Alright, so... Yeah, this should not be pc.hp, because that is actually not used. Player hp.hp is instead the thing. Yeah. O dot player HP minus equals PC dot bleed. And then the other one has to be O dot enemy HP dot HP. And that should do it. I should start bleeding now when he fish hooks me. Okay. Yeah, look at the bleed ticks. It's working. We're bleeding. We did it. Okay. Great. So let's go back to the enemy AI. Let's turn off the forced fish hooking. I think stamina rates might be a little high still. Should we cut them by half, maybe? Global.pc.stam. What if we just redefined it? So right now, this stam rate of 5. And this is like kind of meaningless. Let's do this. If we do... Wait, global.pc.stam divided by room speed. It's already... Wait, is that correct? Hold on. That feels like that's more than like 5 or 6 a second. Yeah, I guess it is. Hmm. All right, well, let's kill our extra HP. I'm gonna do stam rate 3, stam rate 4. Get him! Devour! He died. Okay. Alright. We should, let's work on feedback. So currently, this draws text you missed whenever this is called. And this is called by attack resolution. Oh, we never added a return here. Whoopsies. Return cleansed. Did we status, do status? This is past the attack animation. So the attack animation calls the... Yeah, this calls feedback. Passing the vars to feedback. Always says we missed. Wait, why does it always say we missed? If did we hit, if did we crit? Hmm. Trying to understand what is being fed to this. You miss, you miss. Because all the damage calcs work. The message is sent out correctly, it looks like. Weaken, cleansed. It's just all the other damage. Every piece of feedback it's sent is otherwise 0. Hmm. Playing the animation, though. Oh, did I never finish actually writing this function out? Wait a second. I don't think this is finished. No, it's not. Okay, I see. I see where the issue lies. I never finished actually writing any of this, apparently. I mean, the core function's there, but not anything else. Well, I guess that's what you get for buying a PS5. I don't know. So this is pre-dam. That's correction calc. PC stam and stam. Damage val int. Ah, so these variables were being generated in other places and being carried over because they weren't being regenerated here. So damage val equals n64 minus equals damage val. I mean, from my point of view, there's like no reason to have console exclusives as a game developer beyond you developing, like beyond games that are developed literally by the console manufacturer. I don't know. I hate exclusives. I'm just a PC gamer anyway, and I'm not going to ever buy a console. Well, I say that having a Nintendo Switch next to me, but you know, that's Nintendo. They do be like that. So, yeah, Nintendo is the king of winning while doing nothing for sure. It just carried on the weight of like franchises with 30 or 40 years of history, and that's it. Like, when's the last time there was like a new notable Nintendo franchise? Is there anything after Pokemon? Like, is Pokemon the newest? Because I wouldn't count like Smash Brothers or something, because that's a crossover. That's like not its own franchise. Okay, and did we drain? Did we status? So did we status was working. That was the only one I fully implemented. Oh, I guess Bayonetta is a thing, huh? But that doesn't really have like classic appeal. How many of those games are there even? I guess it's not really fair to talk about if it's got classic appeal or not, if we're talking about new franchises, but you know, I don't know. It feels niche. Eh, okay. Maybe. Splatoon, I assume, is what you meant there. I mean, the autocorrect's doing its job, right? You're saying you're saying words that aren't real words. So it's three for each. Okay. Yeah, I guess. But still, that's like two examples. That still feels like pretty few. Okay. Wait. Did this? Okay, let's just see what happens. Fuck it. Okay, great. It's telling us what he's doing as he beats us to death. So that's great. So now we need this to not be on his side of the screen. How do we want to set that up? I guess we do just an attacker check, right? Attacker. Why is this? Why does that want to be? What? Is it just because attacker is already a string? Yeah. Okay, I guess that's sure. Okay. Okay. No. Yeah. This makes sense. This is telling me here. Hey, this is a string. It's not saying this is literally a string. It's saying the information contained within here is a string. That threw me for a second. Fire Emblem, no. Fire Emblem's gotta be older than that. Fire Emblem, like, wasn't the first Fire Emblem like NES or something? Or am I mixing up franchises? Maybe I'm mixing up like. Oh no, yeah, the first Fire Emblem game is 1990. So Fire Emblem's older than Pokemon by 7 years. For a moment I thought I might have been completely wrong. Because I do mix up Fire Emblem and Breath of Fire a bit in my brain. Because they both just sound so similar. Okay, so now we're passing the attacker string to the attack animation. Then the attack animation will take it. And pass it along. To feedback. And so all we got to do here is we take all this. We go if attacker equals player. Okay, this should be good. And then we do attacker equals enemy. Then we do Y doesn't change. We only change the X coordinates. We just put these at 100. That should be all we have to do. Then we'll change the info, the text, after we get it working correctly. So we should just start to see the text popping up over here in front of us once he starts beating the shit out of us. Okay, you hit, you did damage, blah, blah, blah. Okay. You were hit. You took. I missed. Let's look at the status messages too, though. Well, we're not gonna see the status messages because he's spamming basic shit. No, scripts. Animal Crossing and Xenoblade. I guess, yeah. Well, hold on. Is because Xenoblade, there's like other Xeno games. What counts as that franchise? This is what I'm not clear of. Series. So Xenoblade Chronicles is 2010. They consider that the beginning of the series. What's the connection between... Okay. Okay, so Xenoblade is part of the larger Xeno franchise. So if we count that, I think it's still technically newer than Pokemon by like 1 year. Something like that. Because Xenogears... Yeah, Xenogears is 1998. I think the only one I've played is like Xenosaga 1. Yeah, it's like Final Fantasy games where like the stories are not necessarily connected in any way, but they're still part of the series in quotation marks. Even though they have like different creatives working on them, they're still like, you know, in the brand. So Gears, Saga, and Blade are kind of all their own thing, but they're still part of the greater franchise. Is how it works. When was Animal Crossing? Animal Crossing is a good example because that does feel like I've never played an Animal Crossing game, but that does feel to me like it is like a very like established Nintendo franchise. 2001 is Animal Crossing. Okay, so Animal Crossing does beat Pokemon being 4 years newer. Okay, so these strings here are set up for the target. So if effect is cleanse and the attacker is the enemy, let's add enemy cleansed. You are cleansed. Enemy is cleansed. I don't know if we need to change these. Like bleed 3 for 10 seconds. The side of the screen tells you what's what. Yeah, this should all be fine. Okay, so let's add some actual decision making into the AI. So every step we want it to decide whether or not it wants to attack. Let's go to here. Let's steal our dice roll shit. Random range, and then we integer it. So, currently rolling a dice between 0 and 100 to decide if it wants to attack. Then I guess we do if roll to make it just greater than 100. Which obviously will never happen. as it stands. But we're going to add a bunch of conditional checks to encourage it to potentially attack. What do we call the stamina? Global.en.stam. How many continents do I think there are? 6, maybe? Certainly not 7. 7 is Western propaganda. There's no good reason for Europe and Asia to be different continents. It's the same landmass. It's just Eurasia. I'm kind of a fan of like natural kinds, right? Like inherent divisions in reality that you draw labels from as opposed to the human divisions of like what is and isn't an object of a certain type. And I think if I were to apply that to continents, I think I would want to decide what's a continent based upon what's a plate, I would say. But that does get a little weird with fault lines, so maybe that's not a very good example of a natural kind. Because like if you were to carve up every tectonic plate, yeah, but like you still have like rifts and plates separate, plates get subducted and disappear. Like if we were going to divide it based on tectonic plates, is California a different continent? Because you know part of it's on the other side of San Andreas. Like I don't know. I don't know. There's also the argument of like practicality, which is the counter argument for like going with natural kinds. Like it'd be more scientifically rigorous to divide things into like plates because it's a much more clear definition. But in practical terms, it's not very useful day to day to like call part of California a separate continent, right? Contiguous landmass, but then North and South America should be one continent. And it wouldn't make sense for the Panama Canal to be a continent division artificially created. I mean, I guess you could argue that, but it's definitely not 7. I guess you could include like Zealandia or Oceania or whatever. Maybe you could get it back up to 7. Yeah, yeah, Africa's the same way. You're right. And like just conceptually throughout history, at what point do continent mergers become supercontinents versus like if you keep pushing North and South America together, at what point do you no longer refer to those as separate continents and they just become, you know, America, I guess. From a human standpoint, not important because you'll never experience enough time to see the continents do that. But scientifically speaking, like where do you draw that line? Yeah, number could be as low as 2. JD Vance killed the Pope. That's breaking news, crowd. If only the Pope had won the fight instead. Too bad. All right. So yes, this should be roll 1. Okay, so the enemy will attack if it rolls higher than 100 on this 100-sided dice, which it can never do without a modifier. At all times, we're adding the enemy's stamina to this die roll, which means if the enemy has maximum stamina, they're guaranteed to attack, and if they have no stamina, they're guaranteed not to. Yeah, enough of an ice sheet. Do you get a proper supercontinent? I would say definitively no with the ice sheet. Because then, like, if you have an ice age, is North America and Eurasia the same continent? No, they shouldn't be. Not if they're separated properly by an ocean. So, you did the IBC. What does that mean? Is this a TikTok challenge? Is that what you're doing there, Cryo? Oh, god damn it, it is. Those things are stupid, universally. Don't go chasing trends. Be yourself. Okay, what else? I had other stuff in mind. Oh, the timer. Can I fetch the timer? Probably. That should be in layout. Stepwise. Don't see it. I don't see the timer. Oh, because it's under a draw then, of course. Shave off the Himalayas and fill in the Bering Strait. That's a good XKCD question to ask. My gut instinct is there's not going to be enough material, but I guess it also matters like how thin of a connection you make, right? And then conceptually there could always be enough material down to the point of like as long as it's an atom thick. There you go. If you have two continents and they're connected by an atom, is it actually one continent? There's one connecting atom. Where the fuck is my timer? Oh, here. Alarm 0 divided by 60 and 64. What if I do this? I do a global. Now we do global dot what time is it? And we just pipe this integer value into there. Then I should be able to do layout dot what time is it in the AI. If layout dot what time is it? Does it know what this is? Okay, so if the timer is below 20 seconds, we want it to also get boosted. 1 tiny grain of sand, there's a lot of particles. Yes, this is true. We'll call this mod A equals 0. Mod B equals 0. Okay, so if there's 20 seconds left in the round, I want the AI to be more likely to attack. say 50 plus 50. You fell asleep on Bam's stream. He'd be so disappointed in you. I'll tell him, and he'll never take you seriously again. No, that's half of what streams are for, falling asleep. Okay, then we want the HP value, which is enemy HP.HP, right? Enemy HP.HP. Sorry, does this not... Okay. Maybe I need to define... Well, we can just test it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It's fine. Right, yeah. If you have a sandbar connecting two continents, are they the same continent? If the sandbar is only above the water sometimes, also terrible. I mean, the stream was like fairly boring 2 times out of 3. I was very amused by me almost dying like 1,000 times and then actually dying to quicksand. But other than that, it certainly started boring with me just building fence for like 40 minutes. But we had some fun in the nether. I don't even know what Garrett was doing at that time, though. What do I want to do? I think we want to do this. We want to take the proportional value, and if it's below half, we get a boost to attack. And if it's below a quarter, it's guaranteed to just swing. It's just going to swing for the fence as if it's about to die. Let's not make it straight up swing for the fences. Let's give it like a 75 boost. So 25 once it's at half, 75 if it's at a quarter, and then an additional 50 if the timer is running out, which means if it's down to the last 20 seconds and is below a quarter HP, it will always attack if it can. And if it's below 20 seconds in the match and it's below half, it's likely to attack. 75% chance to attack if it can. Also modulated, though, by the stamina it has. So I think I should cut these down a little bit. I think we do... Let's do 40. Let's just shave off 10 from every one of these checks. 15. Let's shave off 15 from every one of these checks. 10, 35, and 60. Okay, so now we should be able to get an attack in edgewise, because the AI shouldn't just swing madly. The game crashed. Okay, great. Unknown object, what time is it? True. Okay. I kind of expected that to crash, so that is not even shocking. And I declared this as a global, right? No, this is declared under layout. What time is it? Object layout, global dot. No, this is global dot. What time is it? Oops. So maybe that's actually the problem. Because it's just a global variable anyway. Global, what time is it? Then we might want to redefine this to be 0 in the lobby layout. Okay. Test it. Yay, we made it in. All right. Can we get a charge in? Boom. Good charge. We devoured. We missed. He's got the stamina lead on me, and he's not swinging. Okay. So the AI is not attacking. We broke the attacks. All right, let's look at the AI code. So, enemy AI, what did I do wrong? Roll, oops, this is roll 2. This should be roll 3. Okay. Now we should have a real fight. Finally, maybe. Charge in there. Is he gonna attack? Oh, he's attacking. He's spamming a lot of shit. Okay, he's really spamming. Too much spam. Okay. So the odds are still way too high for attack. Because it is tactically disadvantageous for him to consistently spam. But we're making good progress here. So we want the AI. Shave another 10 off of these. Okay, actually, hold on. Let's think about this. Let's put these back to what they were. So the values were nice. 25, 100, no, 75? Yeah. 75, 50. So if enemy HP is below here, then we just want to modulate this, maybe make this like 150. No, because then it would like never attack. Well, no, that's not true, because it will just never, if it's at full HP, it'll never attack unless it's over 50. That's actually good. And then it can attack. Yeah, then if time is below 20 seconds, it can always attack, technically, if it has max stamina, which is good. 150 should be good. Or no, I mean 150 means it can always attack, period. With 50. Yeah. It means that when it's below 20 seconds, it will try to attack always. Let's make this 10 seconds. 20 is too long. This is throwing if we leave it like that. Let's try that. Let's see how that feels. Let's just let him do his thing. Okay, he's not attacking at all. If roll 3. I guess the average roll is only a 50, which means the average here is only a 50. True, yes, actually. Even though it's 1 per frame, 1 check per frame on it, whether or not it attacks, it's still too high. Uh, 125? Okay, he's still not doing it. I might have messed something up here. Um, I could set it to check every 10 frames, but that wouldn't fix the issue necessarily. Yeah, I guess just the 60. Wait, how are some of these like 0? Okay, there's something. Something's weird here. There's actually some sort of problem. Did I put in the wrong? Ah, yeah, I'm using the wrong thing here. This should be global.nstam. That's why this is not working the way I expected it to. We're pulling the wrong thing here. This is what we want. Let's put this back to 150. So let's think about this for a second. At the start of the match, it has essentially no motivation to attack. That's not exactly what we want. So let's actually do 125. It might still be too high actually for a threshold, even with this bug fixed. Okay, there we go. We got numbers. He's swinging again. He's swinging a lot. And he's still burning himself out pretty bad. Fuck it, let's see what 150 feels like. Yeah, because it does take like a moment to close the gap, actually. I'm just kind of looking at how often. Yeah, so I mean, like, he almost always attacks after 50, within like a second of hitting 50. That's not bad. Yeah, we could do something like that that increases the baseline, but I think this is good. I think tactically speaking, him holding around 50 is good. Like in Monster Rancher, the PlayStation release basically had this number hard coded where they just would never go below like 30 or 50 or something. And I like this better where there's conditionals. Okay. The other thing I want to do here is I want him to attack more often if I'm almost dead. Like if he's getting close for the win, he should be a bit incentivized to go for the kill. I think. So we're gonna do mod C equals 0, and if we don't want him to be like too aggressive, because like we could be almost dead but be evasive and like burn him out that way, run out of resources, and that could be a little exploitable. But we want some incentive, some push for him to attack. So if the player is below 25%, it gets a 25% boost to attack, the attack calc. Which means that he'll start going down to 25 Instead of him floating near 50, he'll float near 25 when I'm close to being killed. I think that's not bad. That's not too exploitable. Honestly, this feels pretty okay. For like a first pass at the base AI system, the rate it's attacking is pretty okay. Yeah, now he's floating around 25. Perfect. I like that. I think that's pretty okay. Like there's more that we'll want more to this. We'll want it to eventually like uh we want the AI to eventually take into account like what attacks it has. Because it does have like a death roll which builds off of triggering a bleed from fishhook. So we need like AI, you know, an incentive for it to death roll after a fishhook when a bleed is active. But we don't need to do that for a while. I want to try. Let's try to actually win. Let's see if we can actually beat this thing. So I think we're going to open with a threat display and then go for a charge. Oh, he's going hard. Threat display, going in for the charge. Let's try to get a heal in here, maybe. Okay, we're at a disadvantage. We should let our stamina recover a little bit. Let's go for the devour. Okay, we're bottomed out, but he's swinging wildly. Can we get a headbutt? Actually, let's try to back off and go for a kick. He's almost dead. Take him out. Get him. It's a nail biter. Oh, we can go negative on stamina. Oh, that's interesting. That's not supposed to be a thing. I can't close the deal, and neither can he. Nobody can seal the deal. The time is ticking down. Okay. I don't know who won. I think we killed him. I think I got the kick in there and killed him at the end. Let's try it again. I like the threat display opener because then we can slow him down a little bit. Then we can go in for the charge, get up close. We got the fear in his heart. We can do it. We can go for the stun. No stun. Let's try and go for a bleed. Okay, let's let our stamina recover. We're a little low here. I want to try and get a devour and get a heal in if we can. Oop. Maybe we killed him. I didn't see what his HP was at there. Okay. Well, cool. We need a better grasp of like if you won or lost. So let's go. Let's implement that. So down here, nope, up here. If enemy HP or player HP, go to lobby. Change the victory loss screen eventually. If we do a new room, create room, victory. What do we want to put in here? Let's just do... Let's make a new object. Called the victory screen. I wonder if we can pass any information to that. We can do this. Let's just take all this and we'll just pipe this under a draw event into the victory screen. So we do add event, draw, code. We put the same stuff here from the lobby, but now it should show dynamically what the end state was, right? I think so. We just do this and we chuck this in here. All right, let's try again to kill. Going for the threat. Going for the charge. Okay, closed in. Let's go for the headbutt. Okay. We're at a disadvantage on stamina. Taking extra damage. It's kind of locking us a little bit. Okay, I need some recovery. I gotta get a devour in here. Okay, nice. We got a good devour. We got some back, some recovery. Maybe try for a para. No, we missed the paralysis. Okay, no, this changed again. Oh, because it's probably showing the full, not the current. Global dot. Hold on. We want. Oh, enemy HP.HP. I don't know if that works across rooms. I think it does. Oh, enemy HP.HP. Okay, so this should now tell us the ending HP totals. Okay, we got the fear going in for the charge. Okay, good damage. Go for the headbutt. Push the advantage. We lost the advantage. Okay, but he ain't doing shit. We just gotta let our stamina recover. Ooh, that's not great. Go for the devour. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, we're getting cooked. We're getting cooked. Ah, it didn't work. Why did it not draw on the victory screen? Why is this? Victory. Let's just comment out the attack button and figure out if that's doing anything. Our his guts rate and his accuracy are pretty punishing. Okay. Nice, we got the paralysis. What we should probably do is maybe we do threat display, then we move in and go for the paralysis into the devour. Maybe that's the better play. We're getting fucked. We're getting destroyed. Oh, God. Oh, time's almost up, and he's swinging hard. I'm cooked. I'm cooked. I'm cooked. Okay, so this is the lobby. Why is this still goes... This still just goes back to the lobby. Oh, because it timed out. Right, because we didn't get the kill, we timed out. There's two conditions. Yeah. Okay. Layout, alarm, go to a victory. That's why. Because we're never killing each other. Right, threat displaying. Get it. Get the threat display in. Okay. We got it. Go for the bite. We didn't get it. Try for the drain anyway. Nice. We got it. We devoured some HP back. Okay. We could try for another threat display. Yeah, okay. Now he's afraid. We got him against the ropes. Not really. Ooh, we got the double debuff. Let's save up for another health drain. Go. Get him. Okay, we got it. He's panicking. He's totally panicked. Look at this Joker. Look how panicked he is. What a dumb baby. Back the fuck off. Get away from me. Kick him. Oh, okay. Crashed. Error and draw event. Unable to find instance for object index 19. Uh-huh. And that would be what exactly? I'm pretty happy with how the battles have turned out, though. Okay, maybe the problem is that this is connected to an object that's not in the room. I feel like that might be it. So let's do a new global. Global.end EHP, global. And PHP. And then we do in the script. We just pipe these object variables through to a global and then query that in the victory screen. Let's go back to that actually. Go for the paralytic bite. Bite. We missed the bite. Let's go for the headbutt stun. Nice. We got the stun. Falling back. Let's get the threat display in there. We failed. It's no good. Ooh, we're fucking cooked. Holy. Okay. Why did this... Huh. End EHP and PHP. I don't know how we went back to that screen, I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little unclear. the circumstance that led us to that spot. Oh god, oh god, get in there for the bite. We need food. Eat, 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 eat. Okay, why in the fuck are we ending up back there? So is it being called from somewhere else still? Oh shit, room go to lobby. Wait a second. Did I never change this? Wait, I'm confused. Is there 2 instances? No. I just thought about changing it. I never changed it? Okay. Fuck. Oof. Oof, we're getting cooked again. Jesus. We're getting so fucked. Holy shit. I need a, oh, I have no stamina. This is awful. Okay, he's at, oh, we're gonna die so bad. Fuck. -7, 105, 110, 110. Dude, he flawless victoried us. We got flawless victoried. The start battle button doesn't work. That's fine. It doesn't need to. Why doesn't it work then? Oh, because the button is yep. True. I'm just trying to align these like visually. Whatever. Well, we don't need to see that again. Whoops. Okay. So that works. Now we know where the HP totals end at so that we can see that. Stamina drains were going negative. We need to fix that. Which I probably just never bothered to. Yeah, we're just doing a simple drain check there. We can just do if global PC dot stand below 0. If below 0, set to 0. Let's take care of that. Then I want to do name. Let's see here. If we go to the attack dictionary, we could just do name.name. Like not literally, but like this. Global attacks named to no. Wait, that should work, right? I think so. I think this works, the syntax. This syntax is like functionally the same and definitely works. But so should this. And then we go to attack animation. We go here. We go name is name. And then we go to feedback. Feedback. We crit if we hit. So we do 240, 240, 260. Draw text. 220. We just do name. Two 240, 220, 260, 100 name. Now it should tell us the name of the attack that's been clicked in both cases. Okay, the alignment was fucked. Snap, you were hit. Snap, you were hit. Kick, you hit. Okay, okay. The mist. The mist is weird. Wait, was threat display not... Yeah, it's one word. Draw text 240, they missed. Draw text 240, you missed. Okay. Name fishhook. Death roll. Oh, this one is just missing the space. Okay, that works. All right, well, I ended up going longer than I intended, actually, which is good because I was going to cut this stream really short, and it's better that I don't and that I get good work done. So I guess the only question is there anything else I want to do? There was something I wanted to do. I don't hear somebody's phone ringing. There was one other little fix I wanted to make, and now I don't remember what it was. Well, anyway, let's see. What do we have to do next time? So what I want to do next time, I want hover attacks. When you're on a button, I want you to be able to see the effect, like the current accuracy with the guts correction. We need to do we need to make the AI not want to spam snap so much. If you see this here, he's just like spamming snap. He's also pretty consistently staying in range 2. We should maybe start a to-do list. Let's do this. Let's start an object. This is just our to-do. We're just going to keep notes here. AI spends too much time in slot 2. Need Conditional checks. And associated AI. Pop-up tool tips for attacks with live guts corrected accuracy. AI deprioritizes basic attacks, favors others. AI doesn't cleanse if not debuffed. Well, this is all framed from the, yeah, whatever, it's fine. Other things to do in the battle. I mean, that's kind of the core thing. Like that's it, really. I feel like once I have this stuff done, I'm pretty happy with it. Like not aesthetically, obviously it looks like dog shit, but I mean like all the core functionality is there at that point. I guess we need to revisit damage calcs. And maybe have the AI adapt to debuffs. I.e. more likely to wait out stat drops. Yeah, that should be an easy, that's just an easy additional check to the command line stuff there. Like if his stats are actively dropped, he's gonna be like marginally less likely to attack, like up to a point. Like if we just give it a 10, then he'd like choose to build up guts to like 60 instead of attacking. I guess we revisit the move balance maybe. So this is like one stream, like less than, I think. So this is like phase one, right? We get the battle completed. That's all good. So phase two, what I want to do in phase two, I think, is implement the raising mechanics. Implement the ranch, raising, weekly schedule, feeding, discipline, stress, lifespan, etc. Phase three, implement full tournaments. Implement a full tournament, i.e., like 2 additional enemies. 2 additional enemies. Simulate battles, question mark. Fame. Okay. Phase 4. So yeah, I'm kind of thinking we do like this is like the long-term plan here, but kind of bouncing back and forth between the two main areas of the game, the battle system and the ranching, dinosaur raising stuff. So we get the basic battle system all worked out, then we do all the basic raising stuff, and then we go back, we turn the basic battle system into a full tournament bracket and all everything comes with that, and then we go back to the ranch and we finish implementing like top down type movement. Maybe top down grid movement, customization of your base. These will like all be very question marks here at the end though. Dino interactions, player actions. I think Stardew. And I guess the final phase 5. Now we're getting silly. Phase 5 adventures question mark. So phase 2 is definitely happening. No doubt about that. Everything beyond phase 2 is a little less likely. It'll make a more robust vertical slice demo. And then phase 5 is like crackpot territory. Great. All right, that's what I think we got here. Looking forward. I'm optimistic. I'm pretty happy with the state of things here. I've done more than I might have thought I would have been able to implement in this time frame. Especially for like this like pseudo real time like battle system shit, which is like I've done turn-based game stuff before. I never done this like pseudo real time, but it's worked out better than I might have thought. Now, if only we can beat the baryonyx. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna end the stream here and go try to find a new job. Update my resume. So, till next time, I guess. Next stream will be Prehistoric Kingdom on Sunday. Check out the babies, the ontogeny shit. Should be cool. Looking forward to it.